From wartime necessity to modern day nostalgia, the roots of this cake have been sweetening our lives for over 1,000 years. Let's talk about the history of carrot cake. So carrot cake's earliest ancestor is from the medieval period, and it didn't look like this. They were using carrots to make more of a pudding. Sugar was very expensive. They didn't have it. They took a bite. They were like, ooh, this carrot is quite sweet. I bet we could do something with it. You can even find a carrot-based sweet recipe in 10th century in an Arabic cookbook. By the 1500s, carrot puddings were very popular in Britain. They were grating these carrots and they were incorporating them with other ingredients like eggs and then sometimes some breadcrumbs. And so a lot of these kind of like carrot puddings were made usually putting them in some kind of a vessel and boiling it. But then in the 1700s, when ovens became more prevalent, then we start to see these transforming into more of a baked product. In 1747, there's a book, The Art of Cookery, and we start to see there a recipe that is starting to resemble what, there you go, and I said nothing about the frosting yet. Now, would you have guessed that World War II actually made this cake very popular? Well, it did, because during this time, sugar was being heavily rationed, and because carrots were sweet, they were substituted as this natural sweetener. In fact, the Ministry of Food was really going ham. They had all of these different types of posters. One includes like a carrot with a top hat and a briefcase. People were encouraged to grow these victory gardens where you could grow your carrots. But times were tough, and so they were like, eat those carrots, and to do it, you got to grow those carrots, and then you can get your carrot cake. Earlier versions of the carrot cake were far different. They probably weren't very sweet at all, but they were also a bit denser. Okay, so here's the tea. So I'm sure you've heard of this kind of tale about, eat carrots, they help with your vision. Cute, right? Huge propaganda. This all started because Britain came up with some new radar technology that they were like, shh, don't tell nobody, but how do we, let people think that we didn't create this and we just have really excellent vision with our fighter pilots? Like, how do we do that? Oh, we'll tell them they were eating lots of carrots. Does that sound ridiculous? It sure does. Is that what they were doing? It sure was. Post-war, the cake is making its way across the Atlantic, and in the 1960s and 70s, we start to see it really starting to gain some traction in the United States. In 1964, the Washington Post published a recipe for it, and it featured, dun-dun-dun-dun, cream cheese frosting. It's finally made its way. And if you want to learn more about the history of carrot cake, you can tune into this full episode of my podcast. You can watch the video on YouTube at the I Am Sprung channel, or you can listen as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Sprung on Food.